Okay. Just trying to make sure everybody can hear me. And we're going to be ready to get the show started in just a moment. Just trying to make sure we get our technical difficulties out of the way. And we're going to get ready to get started. As y'all can see on the graphic, we are in combine mode. We're definitely going to probably be doing a couple of things on the combine this week. Probably definitely going to be doing, I may try to go live when I see, maybe for a little while with some of the players do take the field for workouts. I know tomorrow the linebackers and the linebackers and the linebackers and the defensive linemen are going to take the field first tomorrow, and then the everybody else. Special teams and corners will be Friday. Saturday will be quarterbacks, wide receivers, and tight ends. And then Sunday is going to be the offensive linemen and the running backs. So we're definitely going to be getting ready for that. That's something that I'm definitely looking forward to. Most definitely. So we're definitely going to have some fun talking about that. But we're going to get ready to get this show started in just a moment. And make sure everybody share this show out. Make sure we get this thing live. Definitely want to get a bunch of likes. Definitely want to get up to well over 50. Definitely want to do that as more of you start to come on in. I know some of y'all are going to probably be a little late coming in, but that's okay. I definitely don't mind that as long as you show up. That's one of the main things I appreciate is that you're here. And so we're going to definitely have a conversation. We're going to talk about what Ran Carthon said about Ryan Tannehill. Is, he the guy or not? We're definitely going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about some of the things that Vrabel said he wanted to look for as well. And Tim Kelly mentioned something as well. He got to talk a little bit at the I'm sorry. There we go. I had a problem with that. Yeah, follow me on Facebook. Welcome into the show. At TNT Enforcers on Facebook, on Instagram at Times_N_Truth, and then also on Twitter at TNT Blue Enforcer. Definitely make sure y'all follow me here. Definitely apologize for that. Uh, Live show, everybody. That's kind of what happened. Live show. So that does tend to happen from time to time. So I apologize for that. I had my mic on mute by mistake. Whenever some other things happen, making sure everything is good. But let's go ahead and get into the show. I see a lot of people are here. I see Miss Mims is here. I see 615 Podcast is here as well. And shout out to 615 Podcast Lee for, of course, he's now a new member of the Titan Upload Network. Definitely shout out to Titan Upload, the Power Hour. Shout out to 615. Of course, Titans for Life, Titans Anderson, Tennessee Titans Weekly, all those guys. Some of those guys we're definitely going to have back. Kenmore, Kmore Sports. They're not all on the same network, but I know 615 Podcast is a part of that now. So congratulations to him on that. And also, make sure y'all follow on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, and Google Podcasts. I'm going to do everything I can to put that episode out tonight because I know if I have a long episode, it will not I won't be able to download it as quickly as I should. So definitely definitely make sure y'all follow those channels as well. So I see everybody's in here and everything with that. I'm glad everybody's here. I see Steve, I see Derek. I'm not sure exactly why super chats are not working, Derek. Let me see if I can go in and take a look, and I will definitely take care of that. But we're gonna go ahead and get into this show, and that is, of course, Ran Carthon. Definitely, Ran Carthon spoke at the podium. He definitely did. Let's see. I'm trying to see what's going on with all of this. But Ran Carthon did speak to the media yesterday, right before everything got started with the combine. So he did speak with the media, and it made the question, it made everybody ask the question, um, you know, are is Ran Carthon in on Ryan Tannehill or not? you know. And so that's definitely a lot of questions. They asked about him being a new general manager, and of course he said, I haven't been to all the restaurants and everything just yet, but he's definitely looking forward to that and things like that. But then we got to the heart of the matter, and that is we get into the heart of the matter, which was definitely about the quarterback situation. That's probably the big thing that everybody wanted to touch on, as far as is excuse me. Mm, let's see. Let's see. So Lee, Derek, super chat should be working. I'm not sure exactly why, but super chat should definitely be working. Also, I would definitely put, um, I would definitely put down, um, in the comments section. I will definitely do that as well. Um, I would definitely add my Cash App as well if you do have that. I also do have PayPal as well. So, definitely want to give to the show. Um, you could go by my email address, which is right here at canewell at gmail.com. You can use my email to give in, but you should be able to have that payment option as far as super chats, because I just checked and it should be still up and going right now, and everything. So definitely check that out. Um, and then of course, uh, if you want, you can also cash app. You can also cash app me as well, and that is uh, at Blue Enforcer. So you can definitely cash app me there as well. Um, I apologize, y'all. I'm kind of getting off base here right quick. But yes, Ran Carthon did speak to the media, and I also have some audio to play in regards to that. And basically things that he said in regards to um the quarterback position and Ryan Tannehill in particular. And let's just get to the heart of the matter. This is what Ran Carthon had to say.
Ryan is under contract. I know you guys. I just want to speak freely for a moment. I know everybody wants to make a big deal, out of the quarterback position and whether he will or won't be here. But you guys just have to accept the fact that Ryan is under contract, for us. And right now he's a Titan and he will be a Titan.
So, Ran Carthon right there says, you know, right now Ryan Tannehill is under contract. He is under contract, and he is a Titan and will be a Titan. So I want to ask y'all in the comments section, what do you think of what Ran Carthon just said? Do you think that is basically that's it, done? He just said he just committed to Ryan Tannehill as the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans going forward? Or are you saying he maybe did not commit to Ryan Tannehill being the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans going forward? So I want y'all thoughts on that. Did Ran Carthon just commit to Ryan Tannehill being quarterback of the Tennessee Titans? Because he said some other stuff too in regards to that. And I'm actually going to play that for you as well while you get your responses ready. This is some other stuff. This is about a whole 2-minute clip in regards to what Ran Carthon said.
So that was the comment.
And give me a second. I'm going to pull it up. But
everybody wants to make a lot of people obviously.
Here's the whole
He's won a lot of football games, as you guys know. He's been a diligent worker. He's been in the building every day, rehabbing and getting his work in. So he's under contract. I'm excited about moving forward with him. And, like I said, he's done a lot of great things. I have a ton of respect for him.
How does that impact the way that you approach this quarterback class?
Well, I mean, it's a process, right? So you have to evaluate everybody at every position every year, and we'll continue to do that. We'll continue to stack and rank our quarterbacks, whether it's free agency, whether it's the draft, because you got to always look, for options at every position every year. You can't settle, and we all know that the quarterback position is, seen as one of the top positions in our league. So you always got to have one. I mean, you look at, JL just walked by, John Lynch ended the year on the fourth quarterback, right? So you got to be good at that position from top to bottom, how many you decide to keep.
To clarify then, you Tannehill will be your quarterback next season?
Ryan is under contract. I know you guys, I just want to speak freely for a moment. I know everybody wants to make a big deal, out of the quarterback position and whether he will or won't be here. But you guys just have to accept the fact that Ryan is under contract, for us. And right now he's a Titan and he will be a Titan.
Okay. So that was the entirety of that was not the entirety of the press conference, but that was one of the biggest points that he made in the press conference about Ryan Tannehill. And that he basically said, you know, we're going, Ryan's a great guy, and we're going to continue to evaluate and everything with that, and things like that. So, he basically said, hey, we're going to continue to evaluate. Ryan Tannehill is under contract, and he is a Titan, and will be a Titan. So the question is he committed to Tannehill or is he not? That's the question. Is Ran Carthon committed to Tannehill or is he? So I'm about to read some of y'all comments, and then I'm about to give my thoughts on all of this as well. Let's see. I may not be able to read everybody's comments, but I'm going to try to get to some. Of course, Ms. Mims basically said he did say that Tannehill will be a Titan, and he is a Titan. That's what he said. He also mentioned Simmons. He'll be his son. Okay. Dre said they're not ready to rebuild just yet. I think they will give the main group one more chance, add a couple weapons and see if it works. Lauman says he did not commit. Let's see. Derek says his tone suggested 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Very interesting. AZ Mix says, I don't think he's committed to Tannehill. Lauman says, under contract. Steven says, Carthon sounded like a Mike Vrabel puppet before Vrabel even got to speak. And that's another thing that I kind of heard and paid some attention to. A lot of time, Rand would say, we're committed, to Mike's vision, to Mike's. This is Mike Vrabel's team. We're committed to that vision, to what he wants. And I mean, it is kind of sounding like Vrabel is running the show, which I think that's a bad idea. I think that's a very, very bad idea if that is indeed the case when it comes to that. So, let's see. Let's see. I like that. Mim said, better not dare throw no interceptions this coming season. We want to win. Miss Mims, I hate to burst your bubble, but interceptions are going to be thrown. I mean, I don't know any quarterback, any real starting quarterback who's played like 12, 13, 14, 15 games that didn't throw at least 3 or 4 interceptions in a season. Will there be some games where he doesn't throw any? Yeah. There will be some games he don't throw any interceptions. There are going to be some games he might throw 1 or 2. Now, I have seen some quarterbacks go through the whole year, and maybe the lowest I've seen is maybe 4 interceptions in a year, like an Aaron Rodgers or something like that. But trust me when I tell you, by the end of the year, with whoever is the quarterback, there will be a number besides 0 under interceptions. That's going to happen. Derek said that GM speak. Al said he left the door open in a way to be able to keep him if you can't get capital for him in a trade. That's true. Let's see. Derek Roberts says Tannehill is our best option at the moment. Sadly, says Malik isn't ready unless we get one of the big 3. This is a very interesting one. Steven says Ran Carthon isn't committed to Tannehill, but he's committed to Mike Vrabel, at least for now. So this is what I think. Is Ran Carthon committed to Tannehill? Now, I want y'all to hear the short clip one more time. And this is going to tell me, my answer.
I know you guys, I just want to speak freely for a moment. I know everybody wants to make a big deal, out of the quarterback position and whether he will or won't be here. But you guys just have to accept the fact that Ryan is under contract, for us. And right now he's a Titan and he will be a Titan.
Now, here's what I took out of what Ran Carthon just said. And this is my thought. Is he committed to Ryan Tannehill? I'm going to say that answer is no. He did not fully commit to Ryan Tannehill. He might have did a soft commitment to Tannehill. He basically said, he said key words. Listen to the key words. He said, right now, Tannehill is a Titan and will be a Titan. Right now, he's under contract. That is what Ran Carthon just said. He said, right now, Tannehill is under contract. He is a Titan and will be a Titan. He just said, as of now, right now. He didn't say, he never once said Ryan Tannehill is our quarterback in 2023. He never once said that. He also would go on to say, we have to continue to evaluate all positions. So he's basically saying, right now, Ryan Tannehill is the quarterback. Ryan Tannehill, he's basically saying Ryan Tannehill is the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans until he is not. And, what else is Ran Carthon supposed to say? He's not going to throw Tannehill completely under the bus and say, oh, no, we're going to get rid of Tannehill, because if you go that route, all the value is gone. You're not going to be able to trade him, because if you say, well, we're looking to get rid of him. We're looking to get rid of him because then nobody's going to want to trade for him. They're going to wait until you release him. By somewhat saying you're sticking with Tannehill, his value is still there and could be good for a potential trade if they decide to do that. So I don't think he's fully committed to Tannehill. I think he's keeping all of his options open. He's still leaving that door ajar. He's leaving it open just a little bit, saying, hey, he's thinking in his mind, maybe not to hurt Tannehill's feelings, but also he's thinking, I'm going to look at all my options. I'm going to see what's out here. And you're really going to find out later this week if you hear any reports of the Titans meeting with Bryce Young or CJ Stroud or any of the quarterbacks. That's going to kind of give you an idea, because I believe they can only meet with up to, I believe it's 60 of the prospects. And they're doing some of those meetings all week. Defensive linemen and linebackers are there now. They spoke. They'll be on the field tomorrow. And edge rusher is a underrated need. So that's something that the Titans are going to have to look at. So you hear reports of different players that the Titans might be meeting up with, then that might tell you something as far as what the Titans might do. And so, I saw a report earlier that stated that the Tennessee Titans already have an interview, combine interview set up with TCU wide receiver Quinn Johnston. Now, again, that's not saying they're going to draft him. That's just saying they want to talk to him, get to know him a little bit better, see if maybe he might be a guy that they bring into Nashville for an official draft visit later, in the process in March or April. Because, you're going to have a lot of, after this, you're going to have a lot of pro days coming up and the draft visits, and we're really going to see that. And so I don't think he's fully committed to Tannehill just yet, but I think he's saying, I'm going to look at all my options. I'm going to look at these other quarterbacks. in the draft. I might kick the tires about Aaron Rodgers and see about that before I make a decision. And I told some people, I did a live on Friday on my Facebook page, and there are 4 possibilities. One, the most logical possibility, and the one that's probably most likely going to happen, is that they're going to ride it out with Tannehill and Derrick Henry one more time, and it will be Mike Vrabel's last stand. This will be his last shot. This will be him, because remember, strike 1, you messed up in the playoffs as the number 1 seed. Strike 2, last year losing 7 in a row. If this thing goes bad this year, that's strike 3. And so I think the most logical option and probably the most likely option is that they're going to run it back one more time with Tannehill and Derrick Henry. Number 2, the next couple ones, the next 3 involve trades. Number 2, the next most logical option is that they get some draft capital for Ryan Tannehill, and they go all in and trade up for either Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. And those are the only 2 quarterbacks that I would go for. And I'm going to go back and watch some film. I am not really liking Will Levis or Anthony Richardson. I am hearing Anthony Richardson is a riser, and we will see on Saturday with the quarterbacks. I think Bryce Young, I think he's going to throw, but I don't think he's going to run the 40 from what I'm hearing. I might have that wrong, but if I am able to go live this weekend, I will tell y'all more. But that's a possibility. You just go all in, go get your quarterback now instead of banking on next year saying, well, we got to go get a quarterback next year. You don't want to have to go get a position when you have to. You want to be ahead of the curve. So I think that's a possibility of just trading up, go get Bryce Young, go get CJ Stroud, and then you trade Tannehill. AZ Big says Young not throwing. Okay, that's what that was. 3, one of the least likely options is going after Aaron Rodgers. Now, Aaron Rodgers, a lot more expensive than Tannehill. But Aaron Rodgers, Jared said it, and I agree with it. You know, there's a lot of things to like about Tannehill. Coachability, Tannehill. Team player, Tannehill. Not selfish, Tannehill. You know, good guy, Tannehill. You know, decent quarterback. I'm sorry. Yeah, ability to coach, Tannehill. Team guy, Tannehill. Not selfish, Tannehill. Better quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Super Bowls, Aaron Rodgers. A straight up baller, Aaron Rodgers. And that's all you need to know, because at the end of the day, it's all about the wins and losses, the W's and the L's. That's all that matters. Now, lately in the playoffs, Aaron Rodgers hasn't exactly done well either. He won a Super Bowl 13 years ago or something like that. But he's got one. Tannehill has none. So that's the thing. And trust me, I don't like Aaron Rodgers either. Bad attitude. Another one for Tannehill. Good attitude. Tannehill. Aaron Rodgers has a terrible attitude, but the dude knows how to win. Lavin says, I'm thinking you a Green Bay fan. No freaking way. I'm just being honest. And then the last and the least likely option of all of this is you trade Tannehill anyway, you get some picks, and you just bet on the future. You just ride with either Malik Willis or Josh Dobbs, and you try to be competitive. You know you're not going to be able to compete and win, but you try to, win a couple games, but you go up there and go get either a Caleb Williams or Drake Mays, and you build the rest of the team. You build your offensive line. You get you some weapons. You keep your defense together, and then next year, go get your quarterback. So those are the 4 options I think that will happen. Again, my honest opinion, even though I don't think Ran is committed to Tannehill, I do believe they're going to run it back with Tannehill and Derrick Henry. I would be surprised, not shocked, but surprised if Tannehill is traded. But I could see it happening. And while we're on the subject of trades, I know there are rumors out there about Derrick Henry as well. Now, I did this on Friday, and I know some of you freaked out at what I said, and I know some of you are going to freak out with what I'm going to say. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a dose of reality for all of you. Change is inevitable. A rebuild is coming. Now, Derek, you're right. You better have a plan if you're going to trade Tannehill. You better have a plan. And, they're saying, and Dre, I like this comment. They're not ready to rebuild. I think they're going to give this group one more shot and add a couple weapons. I think that's exactly what they're going to do. However, I need everybody to understand a rebuild is coming. Change is inevitable, and there is nothing you or me can do to stop it. There's nothing that Ran or Mike Vrabel can do to stop it unless they just go all in and it works out. That's the only way. But other than that, Derrick Henry is on the last year of his deal. Ryan Tannehill is on the last year of his deal. There may be, understand, ladies and gentlemen, you might as well get yourselves ready because there is going to be a time as a Titans fan where Ryan Tannehill and or Derrick Henry will not be on this roster anymore. I understand that is complete blasphemy. And let me go on record as saying this before I continue. I am not advocating that you trade Tannehill or Derrick Henry. But if it happens, and there will be an initial surprise or shock. But after I get over it, I will have to come back to myself and say, Truth, you did say there's going to be life without Tannehill and or Derrick Henry. This is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, whether you want it to or not. And I know there's a lot of you that will say there is no way the Tennessee Titans will trade Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is the Tennessee Titans. He is too valuable. Ladies and gentlemen, if John Robinson traded A.J. Brown last year, which was stupid, nothing is not on the table. I know a lot of y'all love Derrick Henry. I do too. Some of you have your hearts attached to Derrick Henry. I get it. But this is where take your heart out of it, put your mind into it. Be an objective NFL person, not just a Titans fan when I say this. Derrick Henry's value is still pretty high. You could still get quite a bit of draft pick for Derrick Henry. He is still one of the best backs in the league. You could probably get you a nice second-round pick, a second, maybe a fourth or a fifth. You may even be able to slide in a second or third next year for Derrick Henry. For Tannehill, you definitely could get a second for Tannehill, a second, maybe a fifth or a fourth. You might even be able to get a late round first for Tannehill. I mean, I'm going to be showing y'all I'm going to be unveiling my mock drafts in a few minutes. And there was a scenario where I got a pretty decent haul for Tannehill. I got a nice little haul for Tannehill. Albeit we know it's not always realistic, but, again, this is going to happen. I know you don't want to hear that, but again, it's just the honest truth. It's going to happen. You need to get your minds right and prepare for that. It may not be this season. It probably will be next season that 22 and 17 are not in Tennessee Titan uniforms. Because, as Al Pierce said, Orlestruck, he's like, I don't want to lose the king, but if somebody makes the right offer, we need to make a move. And again, if somebody gives you an offer that you can't refuse, you at least should listen. If somebody's calling about Tannehill, I at least am listening. Not saying I would do it, but I'm at least thinking, I'm going to at least listen to what they say. Let's see what they're offering. Let's see if I can finagle something. And then if they don't like what I'm asking to buy, if they don't like what I'm selling, then hey, I can say no and keep going. No harm done. I don't think Byard is going anywhere because, you need your defense. And I've said this before. They need to retool and reload the defense while they completely rebuild the offense. That's what needs to happen. Let me get some of y'all comments. Steven says, nice guys finish last. Only aggressive people conquer Super Bowls. And I agree. Now, Ran Carthon also went on to say, he went on to say this. And, he mentioned this before. This is what he had to say as well about the Golden State Warrior analogy.
I've always said, and this my own personal philosophy, it's cute, it's sexy to play Golden State Warriors football in September and October when the weather's good, but the teams that are playing in January and into February are teams that play tough defense and teams that are able to run the ball. And so you got to be able to do those things.
Now, to a certain extent, Ran Carthon is right. In the playoffs, when the weather is cold, you got to be able to play defense and you got to be able to run the ball. However, the last few Super Bowl winners, they've went the exact opposite. All those teams had great quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes, how many Super Bowls he had? He's won 2 in the last 4 years. Joe Burrow got to a Super Bowl and nearly got to another one. The Rams, great offense, pass all over the field. That's how they won the Super Bowl. Because most of the time the Super Bowl is in warm weather states. They're not going to play in the cold in for the Super Bowl. That's why it will never be in New York. They probably won't go back to Minnesota again. They could, because it'll be inside. They could. They'll never do a Super Bowl in Chicago because outdoors. They want it to be warm weather. And that's where passing the ball can do that. So, and I have seen somebody comment talking about there's some whispers that that Big Jeff could be on the block if they want to trade up to 1. First of all, there's no way on God's green earth Big Jeff is going anywhere. That I can definitively believe. Big Jeff will not be in any trade talks. Let me stop that right there. Lyman says we are 500 with Henry. We are 500 without. That's true. And I mean, you got to have a plan. JS75 says he'll be a Titan for now until draft night, trade him to the Jets. I mean, there's going to be a team, once those 4 quarterbacks are gone, that's going to be desperate for one. Jets, Commanders, New England maybe, Tampa Bay, maybe Carolina later if they don't get their guy. New Orleans is another. Atlanta. All those teams, they need quarterbacks. They need quarterbacks. So I'm just saying, life without Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill is going to happen sooner rather than later. You might as well get your minds right and prepare for that. That's all I'm saying. Again, most likely they're going to ride it out with these two until they can't no more. And again, Mike Vrabel, he knows this is his last stand. They better build up the offensive line, get some wide receivers, and they're going to go for it. And this is what Vrabel had to say in regards. This is what Vrabel had to say in regards to what he's looking for.
Open to adding great players to our roster, whether that's at quarterback, that's at running back, that's at defensive line, corner. I do believe that we have, we've got some needs and some holes. I've told you that. I've asked them to look for players that have an element of speed, violence, and versatility. And that's what I want to look for. Look for offensive linemen that can protect the quarterback. Whether that's Ryan, whether that's Malik, that's Josh Dobbs, whoever that may end up being. Those are things that we have to do a better job.
You notice what Vrabel said. Want guys with speed, violence, and versatility. For the first time in forever, really first offseason in forever, the Titans are mentioning they want speed, which I have been begging for the last 3.5 years, is some speed. And obviously, even though Josh Dobbs is not under contract, sounds like Vrabel and the gang are going to bring back Dobbs, which means they're probably going to run it back with those 3. So, we're going to find out. This is going to be very interesting. So all I can say is buckle up, ladies and gentlemen, because a lot more is to come. But last thing I'm probably going to do, and also Ran Carthon did mention that he's open for business with the 11th overall pick. And that's whether it's trading down or trading up. Which I think if you got a lot of holes, I very well think the Titans are going to trade down and get some picks. JS75, we need a fullback. That is the least likely of our positions. Rocky It says, I'm late. It's okay. You're here now. That's all that matters. Mike likes Dobbs. It sounds like that. Darren said, get us some wide receivers that can block. I'm sure that's what Vrabel said. Right. I would be surprised. So, and Al Pierce is right. We got to add 3 or 4 more guys on the offensive line. We're probably going to be replacing 4 starters on the offensive line. And so let's see. If trading up happens, Titans should trade with Seahawks and Lions and hope they can score both of their first-round pick. Well, if you're trading up with Detroit or Seattle, they're not going to give you both of their first-round picks to trade up. No, that's not going to happen. Now, we could trade up to 1 and then trade back with say Detroit or Seattle. That's a way to do that. You kind of finagle your way around. But I mean, Seattle and Detroit do have picks later in the draft, later in the first round, and probably early part of the second round, if I'm not mistaken. Now, Seattle picks at 20 late. Seattle picks at 5 and at 20. And then Detroit picks at 6 and 18. And then both of those teams, I'm trying to see where these teams pick later in the draft. And then, of course, Seattle picks again at 38. So you might be able to trade back with Seattle, get 20 and maybe 38 for 11. You could do that. With Detroit. See, Detroit doesn't pick again until 49, and they got 56. So they got a couple of second-round picks. So I could see Detroit being a possible trade partner and everything. So we'll definitely see. Do we reassess if Malik takes his big step? I mean, we'll have to see. We will have to see. But everybody, I think I'm ready to reveal my first mock draft of this year, of this offseason. And I'm going to try to put out a mock draft every week, at least once a week. I'm going to try to do that. If it's a time that I'm not doing a show, I'll probably do a quick short or a quick show where I just reveal my mock for the Tennessee Titans. And then I'm probably may do a couple of like NFL mock drafts as well. So my first mock reveal. So I got two for you that I want to share. One is going to be one with no trades. It's just going to be every pick, what I think the Titans could pick or what was the best available to me. And then the second one will be if there were some trades involved. Okay? So here's my first mock. This is just my regular Tennessee Titans mock. And so at 11, I stayed at 11. I couldn't pass up on Paris Johnson. The tackle out of Ohio State, going at 11. And then going to 41. I mean, because I think he'll start immediately at left tackle. In the second round, I liked this guy very much at the Senior Bowl, and I think this guy could be a game changer, and that's Nathaniel Tank Dell from Houston. He was kind of there at round 2. I thought I got him with a little bit of value, even though they gave me a C+, but I think there was some value there. In round 3, again, this is a guy that was like, could have went early in the second round, and I had him in the third round. He was available, edge rusher, Andre Carter, the second from Army. I just couldn't pass him up. Way too much value. In the 5th round, I decided to go back to the well at receiver and go get Michael Wilson from Stanford, who I thought made some nice catches in one-on-one at the Senior Bowl. And so he's a guy that could be a nice possession receiver who can get open deep a little bit. So I definitely thought go back to the well and go get a wide receiver. In the 6th round, I went center and got Juice Scruggs. I like that name, from Penn State. He could be a guy that could start at center for Ben Jones, or he competes with Aaron Brewer or Corey Levin for that spot. And then last but not least, in the 7th round, I went with running back Muhammad Ibrahim from Minnesota because, hey, are we really sure about Hassan Haskins? And then again, what if you trade Derrick Henry? If you do, you're going to need a running back. So, I went young there. I mean, 6th and 7th rounders, 6th and 7th rounders are just guesses. honestly. So that's kind of what I thought. Kevin, I'm going to get to your comment in just a moment. But that is just my Titan-centric mock draft. Now, here's my crazy, nutty mock draft with trades. This is my nutty mock draft. Now, here's what I went ahead and did, and hopefully some of you can see it. If not, I'm gonna post it on I will post it on my Facebook page. I will put it on the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So the first thing I did was with Arizona, I traded up to 3. I gave up my first round pick and my third round pick and a number 1 next year, moved up to 3 and drafted CJ Stroud at 3. Had to do that. Then here's where I kind of got crazy. I traded back into the first round by trading Ryan Tannehill and a number 1 in 2025 to the Carolina Panthers. And I told y'all this one is crazy. I traded Tannehill and a number 1 in 2025 because I've already given up my number 1 pick next year to go get CJ Stroud. Now I gave up my number 1 in 2025 to go back up to 9 and get back in the first round. But then I decided, you know what? Let me get some more picks. So I traded back twice in the first round to 20, got me an extra second round pick, got me a third pick back, and moved to 20. I drafted Broderick Jones out of Georgia. In the second round, I went ahead, I stuck at 41. I got Tank Dell. But then I also traded that other second round pick I got to Arizona. So I traded with Arizona again and got DeAndre Hopkins as well. And so then after that, the third round, I went ahead and traded Derrick Henry to the Broncos, got a third and a fifth. Probably wasn't enough, but that was the best I could get. And so I traded that. Then I traded down again to 71, picked up an extra fifth, and got an edge rusher. And then I decided to get another edge rusher because, I mean, best player available. You can never have too many pass rushers with Nick Herbing out of Wisconsin. I traded back, got a couple more picks. And then I was like, you know what? I got to do some picking. So I went ahead and got Michael Wilson in the fourth round, a backup running back in the fifth round of Tank Bigsby, another edge rusher. Again, can't have too many. And this guy was just sitting there, Carl Brooks. He was sitting there since like the early second round. I got Ivan Pace at linebacker. I drafted like 5 times in the fifth round. I went ahead and got another receiver in Andre Iosovas, the speedster from Princeton, who I'm going to be very interested in seeing at the combine. Then I went defensive line in the fifth round. In the sixth round, I went tight end with Luke Schoonmaker. Also went safety with Trey Dean because, I mean, we do need a backup safety. And then seventh round, I said, you know what? Might as well draft a kicker. So I went ahead and got Jake Moody. So, yeah, this is probably a very crazy, unlikely draft, but you do a lot of trading around. That's how you get a bunch of picks. And you can get a lot of capital, get a lot of players. So, of course, this is crazy. This is my crazy, nutty draft. But I'm just saying, some of this could happen. And Derek Roberts says, Ken Moore said, buyer beware on Hopkins. Being that he's in Houston, I get it. And I mean, you know, you have injuries. He's already dealt with the PED issues. Yeah, that is a risk. That much is very much true. I am not going to disagree with that. But everybody, I think that's going to just about do it for tonight's show. Oh, you know what? Let me quickly discuss Kevin Branch's comment that he mentioned. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Yeah. He says, what do you think what should we do if Jalen Carter falls to us at 11? Remember how Warren Sapp and Randy Moss fell? Now, this is a very interesting question because of everything that was brought up. Now, of course, the reports are coming out that there's an arrest warrant. And let me see if I can I'm gonna find an article so that I can be very accurate in what I am saying. So I want to be as accurate as possible when it comes to that. But yes, Jalen Carter is definitely in the news. I'm reading off of ESPN. I mean, right now it is that he this is in Georgia, that he is being charged. There's a warrant out for his arrest. There's a warrant out for his arrest. He has been charged with reckless driving. He's been charged with reckless driving and racing in connection with a crash that killed a teammate and a recruiting staff member. This is out of Athens, Clark County, Georgia. So an arrest warrant has been issued. This was as of today, and this was covered by the Associated Press. And this was back in 2021 that he did some racing, and this led to a wreck in January 15th, 2021. I mean, it was January 15th. I believe that was of this year. And it says the announcement came hours after it was reported that Carter was present at the scene of the crash, later provided shifting accounts of the wreck to the police. Right now, Carter is in Indianapolis right now. And, and he talked to reporters earlier. I don't know what was said. I have not got to hear him speak. Reckless driving and racing are misdemeanors, not felonies. But again, there's still an investigation. There's innocent till proven guilty. I am not an expert on law. However, this is yet the case of another Georgia player getting in trouble off the field. And so I know, and I've said this many times before, Teron Davenport and Teresa Walker, they usually would tell me, you do not blacklist a particular university. You don't do stuff like that, but I'm sorry. And again, Derek, I am not an expert. I am not very accurate with all the information. I was reading some of the stuff that was on ESPN.com. But basically, I am terrified of drafting Georgia players. I really am. I am terrified to draft any player out of Georgia. And I know in my crazy mock draft, I picked Broderick Jones because I know we need a tackle. But I am scared to death to draft that guy simply because we had the Isaiah Wilson situation. The ghost of Isaiah Wilson forever lives rent-free in my head. And Jalen Carter seemed like it could be the same thing. Now, with Big Jeff, what happened with him was a completely different situation. It was kind of a domestic dispute, and it was something that happened before he went to Mississippi State. And ever since then, he has been a model citizen. Now, again, I am not saying that Jalen Carter cannot be that. It probably was a simple mistake. You know, have some of us driven recklessly before? Probably. You know, not racing or anything like that. But have we all gotten into accidents on the road? Some of us have. But again, that brings a red flag. And I think a lot of teams are going to be questioning if they even consider Jalen Carter on their board now because of this, because this is going to continue to hang over your head. So I am hesitant when it comes to that. You know, luckily we got Big Jeff and we don't have a huge need on defensive line. I mean, extremely talented player, but that does raise questions. And those are questions he's going to have to answer. If I do go live later this week and I hear some rumblings about him, or if I hear him speak, then yeah, I'll bring that up. But everybody, I'm about to get ready to call it a night. I mean, yeah, 2 people died in that. That's going to be the hanging point. So, again, everybody, the combine is this week. Definitely going to be watching some stuff. So I will definitely be doing some recaps of what I saw in the 40 times and maybe some of the other drills. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Hope everybody enjoyed the show. Again, make sure that if you haven't already, share this show out. Make sure you follow all the pages, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Definitely make sure you smash that like button if you haven't already, and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell and hit all on your notifications. So that way, whenever I'm about to go live, you will know and you will be able to be a part of it. And if you missed anything, make sure you go on to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast from. Definitely download and definitely give me a rating. Let me know what you think of everything. And I want to say thank everybody for tuning in to TNT tonight. I'm your man, Chris, a.k.a. Blue Enforcer. Y'all have a great night and tighten up, because that's all we know how to do.